The House of Representatives recalls on Monday, May 18, the second reading approval of the bill granting ABS-CBN a provisional franchise valid until October 31, 2020. House Deputy Majority Leader Wilter W. Palma moves to reopen the period of sponsorship and debate and the period of amendments for House Bill 6732. He says more legislators wish to discuss the provisions of the ABS-CBN temporary franchise bill. Aside from a license to operate, HB 6732 will require the media network to dedicate 10% of its paid advertisements to the government. House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, who wrote the bill, calls this public service time. A similar provision is also found in the laws renewing the franchises of other major broadcast networks, GMA7 and TV5. Meantime, in the move to cushion the effects of shutdown, ABS-CBN files an urgent motion before the Supreme Court on Monday. It seeks to void the cease and desist order issued to the network and allow it to go back on air as soon as possible. The petition says stakeholders, including the general public, will continue to suffer grave and irreparable injury. The cease and desist order from the NTC forced the network to go off air on May 5, a day after the network's franchise lapsed. Malacanang warns the public it can impose strict lockdown measures again should coronavirus cases increase.
Kung lahat po tayo ay lalabas ng ganyang kadami at hindi mag-o-observe ng social distancing, unang-una, babalik po tayo sa ECQ. Dahil sinabi ko naman po, hindi naman nakataga sa batuyan na tayo nasa MECQ na.
Presidential spokesman Harry Roque also denies speculations of in easing restrictions in the capital region. He says the slight lifting of quarantine measures are meant to stimulate the economy and not because the public is safe from the pandemic. The change in quarantine measures after 2 months saw Filipinos flock to malls and other areas in droves. This gave rise to concerns of a surge in COVID-19 positive cases. Traffic was back in EDSA Saturday, May 16, the first day of the modified enhanced community quarantine. Meantime, in Cavite, Governor John Vic Remulla orders the closure of all malls in the province Monday, 2 days after the establishments reopened. The governor says the malls failed to ensure physical distancing. The Duterte government migrates its signature gathering campaign in support of revising the 1987 Constitution online. Through the website constitutionalreform.gov.ph, the Philippine government, through the Interior and Local Government Department, is gathering signatures to press Congress to back constitutional reform, or CORE. The goal is to get 2 million signatures by July 2020. All regional directors are requested to collect at least 100,000 signatures each based on their population. The House of Representatives in the 17th Congress passed a draft constitution but was blocked by senators. CORE Movement National Chairperson and former Masbate Governor Vicente Homer Reville says the pandemic is a fitting time to rethink the country's constitution. But Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon slams the move, calling the effort a total waste of time and resources. The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, will require public utility vehicles, or PUVs, to keep a list of all passengers they ferry. LTFRB Chair Martin Delgra says Monday, May 18, this contact tracing is part of safety protocols in allowing limited PUV operations in areas under general community quarantine. Delgra says the policy will apply to jeepneys, taxis, buses, and other public transport. He also appeals to passengers to keep a personal list of PUVs they ride in. The LTFRB also looks into mobile applications and online bookings as aid in contact tracing for taxis and transport network vehicle services. Meantime, the Education Department says Monday there is no decision yet on mass testing in schools. The Government Coronavirus Task Force earlier approved the DepEd's resolution for school opening on August 24 for school year 2020 to 2021. Classes may be conducted in classrooms or virtually, depending on the state of the coronavirus pandemic by then. Mocha Uson goes to the National Bureau of Investigation Monday, May 18. Now a deputy administrator for the Overseas Workers Welfare Administration, or OWA, she tells the Bureau her false coronavirus post was, quote, an honest mistake. I immediately issued an erratum and I said I used the wrong photograph, which I just got from the Philippine Star. NBI Cybercrime Division Chief Vic Lorenzo says Uson did not submit an affidavit. But Lorenzo says this has to be done as soon as possible, or else she would be considered to have waived her rights. The Investigation Bureau issued a subpoena for Uson for a Facebook post crediting the government for distribution of personal protective equipment, which were later fact-checked to have been donated by SM Foundation.